Let's go to Marina in Waterloo, where Napoleon may be buried. What's up, Marina?
Not much. How are you?
Good. Sorry we had to do a bunch of intros over again because I'm terrible at this job. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Excellent, excellent. So what's going on?
So I need to figure out how to be a big sister and not a parent to my younger siblings.
Uh-oh.
Now that we are all adults.
Yeah, so tell me about how'd you get stuck in that role as a kid?
Well, in 2004, my dad deployed overseas. I was about 11 then, and I have 5 younger siblings. And after that, he was just kind of in and out. So my mom switched to basically a single parent who was at work most of the time. Gotcha. So it kind of fell on me to make sure that the kids' homework was done, they were fed, they were up in time for school, chores got done, all that kind of stuff.
Was that ever discussed, or did that just fall on you?
I just kind of assumed the responsibility because it felt like if I didn't, then nobody would.
Can I just tell you, I'm sorry that was your childhood?
Me too.
I'm sorry. I mean, I'm grateful for your old man's service. That's awesome. And I'm confident your mom was doing what she could to keep things going. And I'm sorry that fell on you. That wasn't a child's job to raise 5 kids.
Yeah.
So how old are you now?
28.
28. How old's your youngest sibling?
20.
Oh, gosh. There was 6 of y'all in a span of 8 years?
Yes.
Holy moly. Wow. That's a lot of humans in a short amount of time. Are they all biological kids?
Yes.
Ooh, wow. Okay. So there's 6 of y'all. Tell me what you're struggling with now.
I just kind of want to I think the relationships I struggle with most is my youngest 2 brothers. They're number 4 and number 5.
Okay.
In the order. And I want to be like a safe place for them, not somebody that they're worried about disappointing or judging them for the stumbles they have through life.
Yeah. Do y'all live by each other? Are y'all scattered across the country?
Yeah, we're all within like 45 minutes of each other.
That's fantastic. So what's your relationship like with your mom and dad now?
I don't talk to my dad, and my relationship with my mom goes from rocky to okay, back and forth.
Okay. Why don't you talk to your dad?
He moved and decided that he didn't want to talk to any of his children anymore. And then struggles with drug addiction. So me and my husband decided it wasn't safe to try and pull him back in with our young kids. So
yeah, tell me about your house. You got little ones?
Yes, I have a 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 4-year-old.
Dude, you're repeating the process, huh?
Yes.
If you hustle, you can have 2 more. So you can have...
No, I was done having kids at 23, so...
Oh, man. So what you experienced as a young kid, I'm going to classify as trauma. There's a lot. And my guess is your mom was going through a lot. Your dad was going through a lot. And you experienced trauma. And you've got some open-ended relationships that should be closed-ended relationships, meaning your mom and dad have never been a safe place to anchor into.
No.
Which has left you untethered through your whole life. What was some of your coping strategies into your late teens, early 20s? Or you got married early?
Yeah, I got married in 2015. My oldest is not my husband's child. Well, she's been adopted now, but
okay.
So I had that struggle. And
so did you have some adventure years?
Not really.
Okay. You
I got pregnant at 19, so
okay.
I went from being a parent to my siblings to being a parent to my kid.
Wow. So I wrote down here while you were talking, just on my little notepad here, that you've got to reclaim your childhood. And I know you're 28. and you feel like you're 100 years old because you've lived 100 years. But you're still in your 20s. And so as an old man, I want to tell you, and I'm not really an old man, but just older than you, you're just a kid, and I want you to reclaim your childhood. So what does that mean when you've got 3 kids, a husband, you got responsibilities, you got mouths to feed? When's the last time you laughed so hard Diet Coke came out your nose?
Never.
Right. When's the last, like, super romantic, smoking hot weekend away you and your husband have had?
We've only done like 2 overnights since we've had kids away from them.
Yeah. When's the last time you ate and then you ordered a dessert and then you just ordered a second one? Just 'cause.
Never.
Right. So there's a little girl in there that is dying to laugh real, real hard. And when I say dying, I mean that. And there's a lovely, sexy, connected 24-year-old in there that looks at that husband and goes, mm-hmm. She's in there too. And there's a 16-year-old and a 19-year-old and a 24-year-old and a 28-year-old that would love just to dance in the living room. And I want you to discover her because she's in there. And what I want you to start allowing into your life, something you've never allowed in there before because you've been an adult since you were 10, is joy, laughter, desire, rambunctious sex with your husband, more laughter, eating healthy most of the time and just eating garbage once a week just to be silly. And here's where that loops back to your original. Let me just stop there. How does that sound? Does that sound like madness? Or does that sound awesome? Like when I say that, what
it sounds great, but I don't know how to get there because I'm always so worried about like what needs to be done and needs to be taken care of.
Yes.
I don't know how to like let go of that.
And it's not going to be an either or. It's going to be both because your kids still got to eat and they still got to go to bed at night. The way it works is you were born into a story, which is your job is to start parenting at 10. You were told a story about here's what your value is. Your value is to make sure everybody else is okay. Your value is you take your laughter and shove it down. You take your sexuality and shove it down. You take your fill in the blank and shove it down. That little girl who just wants to dance around the living room to old hip hop, she needs to be quiet because we got to get our homework done. That's a story you're born into. And what I want you to do is to imagine a new story. What would you write? What do I want? I want to feel better when I wake up in the morning. I want to have more sex. I want to have more laughter. I want to start dancing in my living room. All these, whatever that looks like for you. I want to start horse riding lessons. I don't know what it is. You can become a jiu-jitsu practitioner. But I want you to go out with your husband, get a babysitter, get somebody in your neighborhood to, or get one of your siblings to watch your kids. And I want y'all to go out and create something incredible. It could be whatever you want it to be. And then what you're going to do is this is the magic word that I want you to keep in your mind. You're going to practice because it's all going to feel weird. And it's going to feel like you're violating some sort of value system. It's going to feel awkward. I don't know how to dance. I don't know how to laugh really loud. I know how to be quiet because I don't want to wake a baby up. I don't know how to just get a babysitter and go with my husband and have a great weekend away, 2 weeks away, where we don't think about our 8 and our 6 and our 4-year-old because they're taken care of. You're going to have to practice those things. And you're going to fail at some of them, and you're going to get tired at some of them, and you're not going to work at some of them, and that's okay. To be curious about it when you practice. Why didn't that work this time? Let's try it again this time. Here's what I'm getting at. I don't want you to wake up and be 50 and realize that you never laughed hard. I want you to have joy in your life, and it was taken from you at a young age. Now, to answer your original question with your brothers and sisters, I want you to call it out, call a meeting, take everybody to Cracker Barrel, whatever it happens to be, and say, from this point forward, I'm your sister, I'm not your mom. That's my job. And we're going to be silly, and I'm going to go first. And so you're going to have to go first and lead the relational change. But I want you to speak out loud what you want it to look like. So speak it out loud. What do you want it to look like?
I just want to be able to get together with them and have fun and not all be so drowning in our past that we can't have a good time together.
So what does fun look like?
Just being ridiculous.
I know, but what does that look like? Just having a barbecue and playing cornhole and throwing water balloons at each other?
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to set that up. And when you set that up, I want you to make a few rules. We are not allowed to talk about dad. We're not allowed to talk about mom. This is just kids having fun. And you can call it Sunday Fun Day, and once a month have all your brothers and sisters over to your house just to be chaotic and be silly. And we're just going to have moon pies and marshmallows and whatever. I'm going to call it Diabetes Day. I don't care what you do, but set it up and live it. And this is going to be something you practice, because there's going to be some moments where your brothers and sisters don't know how to be safe either. They don't know how to feel safe. You don't know how to feel safe.
Yeah.
And so y'all are going to have to practice feeling safe. What's it like to go over to Big Sister's house, have barbecue, have a cheap burger, and play cornhole and sit outside and drink cheap beer and then just go home? Like there's no fights, there was no discussions, no whatevers. Like, what is that like? You're going to have to practice it. But here's what I think. I think if you set the stage, they would love a big sister, and they would love a friend, and they would love somebody they can lean into but isn't going to lecture them when they start doing stupid stuff that 21-year-olds do.
Yeah.
And we're all going to watch the latest whatever movie that's coming out. We're all going. And everybody pay their own way. I'm not paying for everybody. I don't make that kind of money. But we're all going. Except for you, Tom. You got to stay and keep all the kids. Like whatever. That's big sister stuff. But I want you to just to visualize it and write it down and go. I want you to stay away from words like, I just want to have fun. Or I just want to be ridiculous. I want you to be really specific. Because if you just say, I just want to have fun, that bar tends to move on us as we're sitting there. Like, we could be having more fun. We should have a pool. We should have done that. Like, my picture is we're all sitting in lawn chairs around a fire pit eating hot dogs. I'm going to make that picture happen. You got what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you think you're worth that?
Sometimes.
I want to tell you you're worth that all the time. You know who else is worth that? Those 3 little kids. Because you know who hurt a lot too? Your mom.
Yeah.
And you absorbed her tension. You absorbed her lack of self-respect. You absorbed her marital challenges. And I don't want that for you, and I don't want that for your kids. I want them to think back. My mom was bonkers. She was hilarious. She was always turning all the lights off and playing hide and seek in the house. She was building giant pillow forts with us. She was always telling us to leave, and then she'd turn on this really swanky dance music, and she would lock the door with Dad in there. And I don't know what they were doing, but it makes me have the heebie-jeebies. Like, whatever it is, I want those to be the memories of your mom. Of your kids' memories of you. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Would your husband lean into that with you?
Yeah, he's super goofy.
Excellent. Live into the goofy. But the big takeaway here is you got to go first and lead by example with your siblings. You have to be really intentional, very clear about what you want to do, and then I want you to go make it happen and be really graceful with yourself, because it's going to be awkward and weird. You have to practice it the whole way. And you are worth it. Oh my gosh, you're worth it. Your husband's worth it. Your kids are worth it. You are worth it. So grateful for you.